But the party was in a hurry.
What is the position
no,
of
wait,
the
no,
injunction?
No, wait.
What
wait,
is
no,
it,
wait,
these are misinformation to the public.
No.
When you say, no,
I think you have to
you are not a politician.
Wait, listen.
You are not resident in state. You are not a PDP politician.
When you spoke,
so you can come to television and create a wrong impression.
Gentlemen,
wrong impression.
Mr.
Let me tell you.
Mr. Agbedi, let Mr. Bex make his point.
If you are a politician in Bayelsa, you will speak the truth.
These are the kind of things
you are saying here. You cannot say them in Delta.
You don't believe in Delta.
This is a
simple discussion. You are saying what you want to say.
There are a lot of problems in Delta. You are not going to Delta to play politics.
Let's listen to this.
You are coming to Bayelsa to create wrong impression for the whole nation, to watch you create negative impression about the people that you are benefiting from.
Now,
some of us, those of you who are commercial analysts, please confine yourself to some other issues, not our politics. Please, we won't take it. We won't take it in our state again. We will not take it in our state. We won't take it in our state. If you want to do that in Delta State and not in Bayelsa. If you want to do that, go to Delta State and do that, not in Bayelsa. You are not from Bayelsa. You are not You are only a commercial analyst. You are only a commercial analyst. I do this for you. You are one.
Gentlemen,
this is somebody who calls himself.
Don't come and tell the world. Don't come and tell the
time.
PDP has sponsored our candidate. So you join Silver to the court and wait for the court judgment. Why are you coming here to miss something? We won't take this from those of you that we are harboring the
We'll take a break now, and when we return, we'll be getting back to that particular argument in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still on the issue of the issue of the governorship race in Bayelsa State, but right now we're expanding the field and we'll be taking a look at the view from outside. And we're being joined on set by an attorney at law who also happens to be the governorship candidate of the Action Congress of Nigeria in Bayelsa State, Mr. Kemla Okara. Well, Mr. Okara, you're welcome to Politics Today.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And, well, Mr. Uranta is still here with us. All through the heated arguments of the last few minutes, he managed to remain calm. And probably for that, we decided to retain him in this one. Well, Mr. Okara, you happen to be a very fresh face on the political scene, obviously untainted by the murk of politics. But then I'd like to ask you, do you see the problem in the People's Democratic Party working to your advantage as the governorship candidate of an opposing party?
I believe so. I believe there are many ways in which to the average Bayelsan who has to decide come 2012 what kind of government they want. I think clearly what has gone on in the PDP recently would make them stop and ask the question. I mean, should we continue along the path that we have had in the past 12 years or so? Can we trust these people to, through their own internal process, throw up a candidate that has the best interest of the state? Or is this process simply to arrive at a point where there are some predetermined objectives they're seeking, which probably have nothing to do with the interest of the common man in Bayelsa State?
Well, absolutely. Now, what informed your decision to take a plunge into the murky world of politics? I mean, you've just mentioned the fact that what the other party does probably does not serve the interests of the common man in Bayelsa State.
My decision to get involved in politics is very simple. I felt that I had something to contribute because I have been a lawyer for over 20 years. I've also been active as a leader in my local assembly for about 15 years. And in that period of time, I have managed a business. I have had to run a business on a fairly large scale with offices across in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, and in Abuja. And beyond that, I believe that the issues concerning Bayelsa State, especially when you look at it historically, from the time of the struggle from the Isaac Adakaboro period in the mid-60s up till now, you ask yourself a question. As the cradle of the Ijaw people spread across, the South and into some parts of the Southwest, can we say 16 years after the creation of Bayelsa State that we can look at Bayelsa State and say we are proud that this represents the aspirations which some people lost their lives for? And we don't want to get to a point, I don't want to get to a point where in future I may regret that I didn't contribute my own quota because I stayed on the sidelines. And so I felt I have something to contribute in bringing compassionate, committed, responsible leadership to the interests of Bayelsa State. And I felt I better do that. I better offer myself to the people, offer myself in terms of service, and offer myself in terms of the experience I have garnered over the years. That's what informed my entry into politics.
Very interesting. Mr. Iranta, as a very experienced political observer, Mr. Okara has something different to offer. Don't you think that the people of Bayelsa State will be looking for a breath of fresh air now that the People's Democratic Party internally has generated so much very uncomfortable heat down there?
I'm happy that young men like Mr. Okara and before him people like Denzel Canterbury and others are coming up to contest this seat. There's no democracy without an opposition. There's no democracy without competition, and it is very healthy for that state that people who are, from listening to him, they seem to be articulate, passionate, committed, focused about what they want to bring to bear on the state, seem to be coming into the arena of play. However, for me, as a dispassionate watcher of what goes on in the nation, but especially within the Niger Delta states, or not just South, like you said, encroaching, eating into sometimes say
the Southwest,
like Southwest and parts of the other states. I have found out one truth about the PDP. The PDP truly is the largest party in the Niger Delta. Now, the PDP, the opposition has not yet organized itself well enough to give it a real run for its money. I hope that
all right,
with people like Kemla,
let me take Kemla Okara up on that. You've raised a very important point, and maybe it's on that note that we will be closing. But Mr. Okara, don't you think your relative inexperience, especially in the complicated world of politics, will count against you? As briefly as possible.
I don't think so. I think it actually provides a breath of fresh air. I mean, there are countless examples of people who have come with what might be seen as my kind of handicap, if we want to call it that, getting involved in politics and showing that that brings a refreshingly new perspective. And in Bayelsa today, I mean, you just had the former chairman of the PDP in Bayelsa State, who is heading Dixon's campaign. And you saw the discussion. I mean, there are cogent issues which they can't brush under the carpet. And therefore, we need a breath of fresh air. We need people who are going to come and say, look, let us go beyond the ego of people who want office for the sake of office. And let us look at the fundamental issues of development. What we need to do in healthcare, providing primary healthcare in Bayelsa State. What we need to do with creating jobs and creating a new entrepreneurial class in the state. What we need to do with education. These are cogent issues which nobody is talking about.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm involved in politics.
Well, thank you so very much, Mr. Okara, for your contribution. But would like to call it a day here because that is how much time permits us. But some other date, we hope to have you back on this forum, maybe when the race gets hotter. But it's my pleasure to have had on board Mr. Tony Uranta and the ACN governorship candidate in Bayelsa, Mr. Kemla Okara. And for us here on Politics Today, it's also nice being on the show today. Next week is yet another time. Join us for another edition. I'm Charles Eruka. Have a good evening.